Hi, welcome to Simply Sauce with Chef Mel. My name is Melissa Majeri, otherwise known as Chef Mel, as I'm the owner of ChefMel Sauces, which is this lovely sauce in a jar. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and I come from an Italian family, and that's where I have my love for Italian food. So stick with me and we'll show you how to make my favorite dish, chicken spiedini today, and we'll accompany that with some linguine with cauliflower. All right, so we'll start by washing these lemons because we're gonna use the zest and the juice from these guys. And a little trick, see, my thing is I wanna make things easy because a lot of my friends say, you know, you're a great cook, but we don't know how to do this. How can you show us? So this is my thing. I'm gonna show you some good tips. One of the tips is if you wanna get the most juice out of this lemon, you're gonna roll this lemon, and all you're doing is just kind of breaking up the inside, making it soft, and therefore it will be more juicy. All right, so you take your grater and we're gonna do some lemon zest here. And this is a key ingredient for the spiedini because anytime you add a zest, whether it's lemon zest, orange zest, lime zest, you're really bringing out that flavor, that citrus flavor, which makes it so nice. Because sometimes you just can't add enough lemon juice because it makes the dish too watery. All right, so we have some zest to start with here. All right, and then we're gonna take, I've got these recipes. I'm gonna have, the recipes will be on the website, so I know how to do this. I just like to follow my own recipes so I can track. So I got some chicken breast, and you wanna get the flattest chicken breast you can. Okay, because you're gonna roll this chicken breast. So I got some nice cutlets here. Now you can get any kind of chicken breast you want, and if you get a healthier looking chicken breast, you're just gonna tenderize it more, okay? If you get a real thick chicken breast, you're probably gonna wanna cut it in half, lengthwise, okay? So I get this handy dandy little thing called a jacquard. I love this thing because it beats up the meat and it's real easy, okay? Lots of multiple blades here. Now you can use a hammer, but I like this. And you do have to be a little careful because if you do it too much, like I did once, you're gonna have ground chicken. These nice thin cutlets are so much easier to work with, so much easier to tenderize. All right. The most time-consuming thing making chicken spiedini is what we're doing right now. This and the next few steps. But believe me, it's worth it. All right. So now we have our chicken breast. And then we're gonna do, I like Italian style breadcrumbs. You can make your own breadcrumbs. Italian style is just a little bit easier. So I put about a cup of those in, and then about half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese, okay? And then I just mix it up, just like that, easy. Now, that's gonna be what we bread the chicken with. What we're gonna dip the chicken in is olive oil, lemon zest, and garlic. Now, I will confess, I used minced garlic for a long time, but I discovered that nothing beats fresh garlic. This is so much more flavorful, and it's easy if you've got a garlic press. You see how easy that is? That's it. Now, if you wanna, my advice, if you wanna take the easier way out, you can. You're gonna double this. So this is gonna be so much stronger. You want to use, we got about a teaspoon here. And you know, I'm the Italian cook that puts a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but for convenience, I have tried to make it easy by writing it down in a recipe for you guys. Okay, so we do some lemon juice. Of course, I get the lemon with the most seeds today. That's not a problem. You just take those seeds, take them on out. Boom, done. All right, we get a little bit of olive oil. You can use a light olive oil. You can use a extra virgin olive oil. As most of you know, an extra virgin is gonna give you a little more flavor. All right, so we just kind of mix that up. Easy. And then we're gonna take the chicken breasts. We're gonna dip it in both sides so it's covered generously, okay? And then we put it in the dry. And what I like to do, I like to use these bowls because you can literally flip everything. You don't even really need other utensils. See how nice that is? All right. We're gonna just leave that in there for now. All right. This is a great dish to make with pretty much anything. I've had it in restaurants and sometimes it's served with a pasta with an Alfredo sauce or pretty much any kind of pasta, but I can make this and serve it with anything. Today I'm gonna serve it with a pasta. But this stands alone. I mean, this is a dish that is so versatile that you can put it with anything you want. You could also do it with beef. I've made beef spedini before. Very good. I've even been in some places that use swordfish. Now, I haven't done that one myself. But the key is you want a good, solid, flat piece of meat. All right, so we're gonna a little bit more dry. We'll get this last one going and then I'll show you the next steps. This is a favorite in my family. It's on Mother's Day. I can remember I would make 5 pounds, 10 pounds, and there would not be any leftovers. This stuff goes well. Everybody I've ever made it for loves it. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next step here. Let me clean this up a little bit. We'll be right back. All right, so I washed the board off so I can reuse it here right away with these chicken breasts that I have now breaded. Okay, so I've taken some skewers. I've put a little olive oil on them. This makes it real easy to get these off because what we're doing is basically making a kebab. So you're gonna take this. Now, sometimes you have a loose piece like this. So I always roll that inside because if you do it the other way, it tends to fall off. All right. So we're gonna roll that as tight as you can. Okay. Same thing here. You wanna roll it tight. All right. Just about done with that part. This is the good stuff. See how you have to kind of tuck it a little bit. Okay, so then the next steps are going to be this. Take your knife and you're going to cut small pieces. I'd like to say bite-sized pieces. You just don't want them to be too big. You want enough to go around for everybody. I'm going to move these over. And sometimes when you get those ends, you have to cut a little bit of a bigger piece and kind of tuck that in. And I'll show you how to do that with the skewers. And what you get is a nice little pinwheel looking piece of meat, okay? And that one's kind of close, so we'll just leave that one a little bit bigger. And with these end pieces, I tend to do this with that. I'll show you. So you take your skewer and you get those middle pieces. Those are good for your ends, okay? Then you get some of these little flimsier pieces. No big deal. You just kind of fold it in, and then that's gonna be butted up against there. And another good piece. See how that works? And that's how you make it work, okay? And you figure you wanna do you know, 4 or 5, maybe 6 pieces a piece, depending on how you're gonna serve this. You might serve it on the skewer. If you have a smaller gathering, well, I guess a larger gathering too, you can also take them all off the skewer and just serve it in a big pile. But you know what? I like it big. I like it on the skewers myself. So you don't want to overload it, because if everybody's taking a skewer, you want to, you know, people can always go back for more, right? Yeah, seconds is, that's common in our family. I don't know about anybody else. I mean, I think pretty much every Italian family goes through that. That's why grandmas make so much, right? Because they want to make sure that everybody mangia. Everybody eats enough. All right, so we're almost done with this. Yeah, I like to just pick it out as I go. Like, okay, this piece looks good. And, we'll take one off of here because it got too many, right? We got to even it out. All right, one more. And then what you're going to do is broil these. Now, you can grill them too. So in St. Louis, when it's 95 degrees with 95% humidity, I don't grill them. But any other time I do. So when it's really hot outside, or say it's really cold outside, you just put them in the broiler. No big a deal. All right, and then sometimes I just take some of these leftovers and kind of sprinkle them on. You're gonna get some burnt stuff at the bottom. You know, it's all just the crust, but it washes off. But I always wanna make sure you get enough of that breadcrumb and Parmesan cheese mixture. And that's it. So we're gonna get these going in just a minute, and I'll clean up again. I'll be right back. Okay, so we've got our chicken spedini. So remember, it's olive oil, lemon juice, fresh garlic, and lemon zest. Don't forget the lemon zest. And then we're gonna dip it in that, put it in the breadcrumbs and Parmesan cheese, roll it and cut it, and here you have it on the skewers. So the next step for this is to put it in the broiler. And as far as time goes, you pretty much want to check it in about 8 to 10 minutes, and you're going to see it getting a nice golden brown on top. Sometimes I'll spray a little olive oil on it if you don't want it to get dry, but really it won't get too dry because you've got the juices from the chicken. But this is one little tip I like to do, is when it's getting kind of golden brown, then just pull that out for a sec and do this. Just flip it over. Okay, this is what I would do if I was grilling it. I would take my tongs, of course, and flip them over. Pretty much one time, golden brown again, your chicken's done, okay? So we're gonna broil this, and then we're on to the pasta. All right. All right, so this is a pasta that is like one of the easiest pastas you can possibly make. It's very special to me because my aunt made it all the time. And my aunt is, oh, I don't know, one of those classic funny Italian women. Now I gotta interject a little story, because that just made me think of my cousin and how much we love cooking shows. And we used to watch cooking shows on Saturday mornings as opposed to the cartoons, because we thought we were, you know, gourmet chefs, and we would toast our little Pop-Tarts and put some butter on them and go sit in the living room and watch these shows. And I couldn't tell you for the life of me who this guy was, but he said, no, we're gonna cook us a PIG hog. And you know, like 30 years later, I can, probably 40 really, I can tell you that I can pull that line out, and my cousin laughs every single time. So shout out to my cousin and my whole family. So anyway, let's go back to the pasta. This is a linguine with cauliflower. Super duper easy. So we're gonna boil the water, and I do break the pasta. Now I will tell you, Mr. Stanley Tucci says, if you cut the pasta after it's already cooked, it's sacrilegious. I think that's pretty much quoted him. But if you break the pasta before you boil it, somehow that's okay. It's acceptable in the Italian culture. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I've broken up the pasta. Here's the cauliflower. The only other ingredients are olive oil, garlic powder, and salt. Super easy, but super good. And a very nice accompaniment to that chicken spedini. So this is just about to boil. And what I do is I boil the pasta for about 10 minutes, but say 6-7 minutes in, I put this cauliflower right in there so I'm not dirtying up 2 dishes by steaming it in one and putting this in the other. Then when we drain it, you'll see that next. Then we're gonna toss it all with the olive oil and the salt and the garlic powder. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, so now we've got this easy pasta going and we're pretty much done. I went ahead and boiled the noodles. I added the cauliflower. So we're gonna strain this. Oh, scared myself. All right, so we're gonna bring this back to the pot. And this is where the magic happens. We're gonna pour a nice amount of olive oil in there. Might seem like a lot, but you wanna make sure everything's covered. Key ingredient, salt. Another key ingredient is gonna be the garlic powder. And most of the time I just told you about fresh garlic. Yes, fresh garlic is really good. Or for pasta, to get everything spread out with that flavor, it's better for me anyway. It's been easier just to use garlic powder, okay? So I got quite a bit of that in there. And then I like to twirl it up. And then with this cauliflower, you can kind of mash that in a little bit. I like to cook it so it's not completely soft, just kind of al dente. Smells great. All right, so we've got the pasta done. That's how simple that is, all right? So I'm gonna set that to the side. And so if I'm gonna show you, we're gonna plate it up. I think I'll do the pasta first. And I know, I just use the same tongs because I'm just simple like that. Now, feel free to garnish this with whatever you want. I mean, you could throw some parsley on top. You could add Parmesan cheese if you like. Little greenery, however you'd like to do it. But that is chicken spedini and linguine with cauliflower. It's great. So what do I like to say? Mangia bene. So this was brought to you today by ChefMel Sauces and also by my friends over at the St. Louis Strength Academy. You can make an appointment with Jen and Nate. They're the owners. Nate is a fabulous trainer and they are in Glendale, Missouri. So this would be a great meal actually to have the night before you work out with Nate. You've got your protein, you got your carbs, you'll be ready to go to work out with him in the morning. Thanks a lot, guys.